Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I am working a subscription box project. This is called Oh My Stars. It is, I believe, from the Open Gates Quilts subscription box, the April box. And I got a notification that my other one is on the way, so I thought, well, I better get something done. But the reason I am doing this is because this is a table topper. And you may not be able to see that real good, but this is using the Old Glory line. So, you know, it's going to be kind of 4th of July festive. You'll see I have a wall hanger right there of the Old Glory line. And I thought, well, I don't have a table topper, so I need to get one, or I need to make one. That's what I'm doing. So I already have my fabrics already cut out, and it's not a lot of them. See, I already have them all cut out and ready to go. And so what we're going to do is just get started on it. So my first step of this is to take, the instructions have me putting a diagonal on the back of my little red fabric with polka dots. I've got the diagonal on there. I have 32 of these. And I'm going to hold it where I can read it. I am going to take this and put the little red piece in the corner of these white squares. I will start on the left, and then I will trim it at 1/4 of an inch, and then I'll press it. Looks like I'll press it to the colored piece, and then I'll put one on the right. So guys, I'm just going to get started with it. There's no reason for delay. And I hope you guys have had a fabulous day today. The weather here has been pretty cooperative, so it made for a good day. And today was my first vacation day. I only took a couple days off. Well, yeah, I was kind of wondering if I was supposed to sew tonight or not, because I have sewn 3 blocks and had nothing but trouble out of them. And then I realized when I cleaned my machine, I didn't put my plate back on good. And it wasn't wanting to feed the fabric through because the plate wasn't all the way down. So my fabric wasn't catching in the feed dogs. So, but now that I figured out my user error, it is possible. We all do it. We all make mistakes and have little oops and goofs and you know, things like that. But it is after 9 p.m. And I know it's a vacation day, so I'm good. I kind of make a list of what I want to do, because the whole reason for me taking my vacation days was I want to get my spare room done, because my son is going to be getting out of the service really soon, and I want there to be a bedroom available if he and his family want to come and stay a night or a weekend or something and visit. You know, I want to have that available for them. So, and now that thing has been a storeroom for so many years. It's been a long-term food storage for about 3 to 5 years. And I'm going to have to go through there. So now, excuse me, I do have some bulk food in 5-gallon buckets, which I will need to move to my kitchen pantry. So that means I have to clear out my kitchen pantry because I have things stored on the floor. And that's where the buckets would have to go, is on the floor under my shelving. But I have like little baskets that I put my onions in and my potatoes and things like that on the floor. So I'll have to get that up. But really the main thing that I should have in my pantry is just like keto things, mustard. And I don't use a lot of the artificial flavorings, ingredients, and things that you can find in the keto recipes. So I had done that at one time. But after I started reading all of that, and I realized that there was a lot of sugar gases in these products, I just got rid of them because if you're going to eat the sugar gas, you might as well eat the sugar and get a good flavor out of it. Sugar gases are awful. I mean, I will keep canned meats, you know, for situations where I haven't had time to cook, or, you know, it's like, hey, I just want to make some cloud bread, and I don't even know what Spam has in it, but I'll have to look at that because I think I got me some. I think during all the shutdowns and stuff that we had, I think I got some Spam and put it in there for just in case moments. I really don't eat that stuff. I don't know that I've ever eaten it. And I had to have, because I know it's salty. So I had to have eaten it at some point in my life. I don't know when. But anyway, I need to clean out my kitchen pantry to make room for the foods that are in my long-term storage. And a lot of the stuff I have in my long-term storage, and some of it I know probably is not keto. I do have a lot of canned vegetables, which is not. And I have canned meat, canned vegetables. But I have sugar, and I don't think I have ketchup anymore. I think we went through our last bit of ketchup. But I have like Worcestershire, and I use a lot of Worcestershire. Now, when I went in there earlier and was looking, I noticed I have vegetable oil in there, and that's just going to go in the garbage. Nobody needs to eat that stuff. I won't even feed that to my dog. But I know I have vegetable oil in there that's going in the garbage. I know I have a lot of minced garlic in there. I have a lot of canned foods in there too that I've canned up. But that's mostly jellies and jams that I don't eat no more. I'm still clearing out stuff out of my freezer. I actually have 3 half-gallon canister-like things in my freezer of muscadine juice that I made muscadine jelly out of, and that was just my extra that I had. We don't eat a lot of jelly, so that is just taking up space in my freezer. But I'm not going to get rid of it because, number one, I want my canisters. And number two, I put a lot of work into extracting the juice off of it. And I have a steam juicer. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a metal canister. If you go back in my videos on this channel, I have somewhere, I believe I steamed a chicken and made chicken broth out of it. It's amazing to do that. And I may have to do that pretty soon because I'm almost out of chicken broth again. I have some chicken broth, but it's in the freezer. I don't have any canned. I have some frozen. the last batch that I made it frozen. Which is not bad. I mean, I can thaw it out, but it's nice to have some on my shelf that's canned. But I do need to go through my freezer again, y'all. I'm telling you this, when you go changing the way you eat, there are so many changes you have to do. And for me, I have to get it out of my house completely. It has to be out of the house. I've been having some serious cravings for sweet. And I'm not really a sweet person. I don't care for sweets that much. But I've been having cravings for brownies. I don't know why. Probably because I know I can't eat it. But I couldn't eat it before, and I just did. If I wanted it, I did. But I didn't want it very often. I think my biggest downfall is popcorn and Coke. I love my popcorn, but I have to have Coke with it. And popcorn really isn't that good for you either. So, I'm just cleaning out all kinds of things. The food pantry because I can't eat it. And the bedroom because I just want to make room for family. And there has been a time when my dad lives just right up the road next to me. His driveway and my property connect. They butt up to one another. There has been a time where his power has gone off and mine has still been on. So he just come over here and stayed. You know, him and my stepmom just came over here and stayed until their power was on, like the next day. But I'm really wanting to get my house back to where it can be lived in. My husband and I both work out of the house. Well, we both have outside jobs. And then we both have, for lack of a better word, a side hustle. I don't know that this is a side hustle. Because I YouTube, I do eBay. What else do I do? YouTube, eBay. I don't know. I can't remember what all I do. Oh, I have merch, you know, which is not anything major, but I just work. I do a lot of work from home. And so does my husband. So our house has turned more into office space that we store and sleep in instead of a home. About the only room that is my bed, we have a bedroom, you know, that is set up. My husband has his office, which he has a bed set up in his office. Because sometimes, if it's during the week and I'm working, he may sleep in his office because he may work really late. And I may already be in bed and he don't want to wake me up, which is quite considerate. Because I don't sleep very well anyway. And if I get woke up, I don't go back to sleep very well. But I just want, well, and another thing is, I've been in this house going on, got it in 2006, so 18 years. Man, it don't seem like that. So, going on 18 years, I've been in this house. And I've really, even when the kids moved out, I really never did a purge. It's time to do a purge. I need to go through every cabinet, every drawer, every closet. I just need to get rid of stuff because, you know, you go to Sam's or something like, well, a lot of people have Costco and Aldi's. All I have is Sam's. But you go to Sam's and you're like, oh, I like that bowl set. Let me get that bowl set. We end up having 3 or 4 different bowl sets. That's kind of what's happened to me. And it's like, I've got to get rid of some stuff. Because it's just too much. And I only have so much cabinet space, just like everybody else. Everybody only has a certain amount of space. But I have filled my space up, and it's time to get it out. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to measure. I have a cabinet in my kitchen that is to the right of my refrigerator, and I have my convection oven microwave sitting on top of it. It's on that cabinet. That's where my microwave is. And I am going to look into the cost to replace that cabinet. And have it replaced with pull-out drawer cabinet. Now, there may be some kind of kit or something that you can use to fix that. I'm not doing that. I'm just replacing the whole doggone cabinet. Tell them I don't want any of this, whatever it's called, MDF board or whatever that board is. I don't want that. I want real wood. I want real cabinets. Now those cabinets that I'm talking about are really good cabinets. And, you know, they may work in another location. But I put all of my glass bowls in this cabinet. And it ain't working too well. I do not, I can't get to the back of the cabinet. And see, I have a lot of my grandmother's bowls. Because my grandmother gave me some bowls, and then I got some bowls that no one else wanted. You know, after everybody got something from when she passed. So I have, and they're just little glass bowls. They're really nothing extraordinary, but they were my grandmother's. And that means something to me. But I have all my glass bowls, all my casserole dishes in this. All my storage glass bowls are even in there as well. So I just want to get a cabinet that has the pull drawers on it, so I can pull it out and get all the way in the back. I would love to replace all my cabinets with that. That's why my husband says we just need another house, a different house, because there's too many things that I'm wanting to do to this one. And I'm like, but this house would still be less expensive than buying a new house right now with the market the way it is. I mean, a house that, when we bought this house, I got a really good deal on it. I'm just going to say that. I got a really good deal. But I bought, like, what was I saying earlier, like 18 years ago. Now, to buy a house, I would still want a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. With a separate laundry room, a place for a freezer. I would prefer to get a chest freezer. I did at one point have a chest freezer. But we got rid of it for an upright. And I'm not real crazy about the upright, even though I can see what's in there better. It has, I don't know what it has. it's leaking underneath it. And I don't know if the drain has gotten clogged or whatever, but it's full of food and I can't pull it out and look. So it's probably going to cause my floor to fall through right there. But I mean, the house that I have now, to buy it now, would easily be $180,000. And I didn't even pay $100 for it. Okay, guys, got these sewn together. So now I have to get my little trim tool here. So now I have my rotating mat. Oh, and y'all, I didn't think to tell you that in my Open Gate Quilt Box subscription box, I did get the backing also for this project. So you can get the backing as well for your projects. I think you pay like $12 extra for it. Now, in order for me to trim this up, I have to take that tray off. And doing that, I could actually just use, I have a cutting mat right here. So I'm telling you all about my stuff here at my house. But this is just kind of things that I have going on. I really want to redo that bedroom, but I'm not going to have time. Maybe I can get everything out of it, get the bed set up, and then like each weekend set a project to do on it, because I want to do an accent wall, and I already know what I want it to look like. I know what color I want it to be. I want to rip the carpet out of that room. I want to put like vinyl planking down in that room. My husband says it's not a good idea with this being a mobile home, that it wouldn't lay right. He tells me you either need carpet or linoleum or like a vinyl flooring that covers the whole floor. And I can see that. I mean, because I see where nails are trying to come up, and I just lay a board on top of it and get a hammer and knock them back down in the wood. That's what they told me to do anyway when I bought the house, that if I started seeing that, just to put a board on it, and that way it'll keep it down, and it'll keep it from tearing the flooring up where it's coming up. But y'all, like I said, this house is 18 years old. Flooring needs to be replaced. It don't look bad, but it don't look good either. It's not the type of flooring I want in the house now. And actually, the funny thing about this house, my son actually picked this house out. He was all of 2 or 3 years old at the time. I think he was about 3. And he helped me pick it out. And when we got the house, the bedroom on the opposite side of the hallway to the room I'm in right now, it's now my husband's office. When he picked the house out, he ran to that room and he said, this is his bedroom. And that was his bedroom. He picked this house out and said that was his bedroom. And the only requirements I had was it has a fireplace, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, a fireplace, a bay window, which I won't do again. I'm not having trouble with the bay window, but I could see where you could have trouble with the bay window. And a separate laundry room and place for a freezer. Those were my requirements. Oh, and a pantry. And I do have a pantry. It's a corner pantry. But those were my only requirements. Now I got a lot more of them. I want certain types of flooring. I want, well, and I was happy I got what they classified at that time as a deluxe bath. Which is a pretty good sized bathroom, I must say. And so pretty much though, you know, like the colors and all that, that's, I mean, to me, that's just cosmetic that can be changed. And I haven't decided if I want to just upgrade this house or just get a new one. Probably get a new one. I probably need to get a new one. But I don't like doing stuff like that. If I have to do stuff like that, you might as well just give me a dumpster. Let me throw everything I have away, because I definitely don't want to box it up again. Because I remember when I was in college, I had moved so many times, and I'm sick of moving. And then I had my oldest daughter, and we moved several times. She and I moved several times too. So, oh y'all, I'm going to tell you, I just sitting here talking, and I sewed things on here that I shouldn't have sewed on here, and I even cut some of them. So, I'm just going to, oh Lord, and I'm going to have to recut these, and I don't have any more of that fabric. Well, we are back. Yes, it is a different day. If you were watching that last snip, you probably noticed I had a big oops. Well, on the pattern, it said to make 16 of these. I made every single one of them. So I had to go out and do this. I had to rip them. So I had to find this fabric to cut some more squares. And I did. I had some in my stash. And I think it's the exact same fabric. It looks to be the same weave and everything. So guys, we're just going to get going and get this finished today. I did take yesterday off of sewing, so there's been a day between the last snippet and today, because I was doing a clean out on the room to turn it back into my storage, long-term food storage room. I'm turning it back into a bedroom. So if my son and daughter-in-law, they want to come stay a night, they can, because they'll be staying with her family for a little bit until my son can get a job. He is now honorably discharged. He is reserves for the next 4 years. He decided to not re-enlist because he has that baby girl at home, and this is being very hard on him, being away from her for months. I think he was only gone like 6 months though. But still, with a baby, that is very hard. It's very hard on her, very hard on him, because for the first 3 months of her life, her daddy put her to bed every night. And the Army did give him paternity leave for 3 months. So he was there every day for 3 months. And baby girl knew her daddy was gone when he left, because it took her a little while to adjust, but she did well. And now she's getting so big. And I have not seen my son since he has been stateside. So I haven't seen my son since November, since he deployed, or whatever they're going to call it now. Because when he came in, I thought, well, his wife and baby went up there, and I was like, I'm not going to take time away from that while they were able to go. I wanted him to spend all the time he possibly could with his baby and wife, because a lot of mamas don't realize when that baby boy gets married, she's not number one anymore. His wife is number one, and that's how it should be. So I tried to give them their time. I mean, even though I miss my son tremendously, he's got a wife and a baby that's more important than mama. So, but I know when he comes in, I'll be seeing him. Because this mama needs to see her baby. But he needs to see his baby and wife first. So, I'm getting the room ready, and I was doing that all day yesterday, and I'm still working on it because that, not only, I mean, the long-term food storage, it had big shelf. It's got a big table in there that held all my canning equipment, my jars, and all that. And, yeah, it looks like I didn't need to do that after all. I don't know why. I just sewed all of these on here, and I didn't need to do that. I'm going to rip them out, but I'm not going to bring you along for the rip out of all of them, because I can't believe I just did that again. But my mind is not where it needs to be right now. I want to sew. I want to sew really bad, but I want to get that room done too. And I want to finish this project, because I don't want to have a project started and not finished when my next box comes in. Because this isn't a project to start and not finish. This is a easy weekend project, unless you keep messing it up like I do. And then it may take days that it shouldn't. These little pieces right here, these white pieces that I had to recut, they're actually just little square pieces. That's all they are. But I'll bring you guys back once I'm done pulling out all my errors, because we don't want this to be a really long video, because there's no reason for it to be. You've already seen me sew them all together twice. So, I'll bring you right back as soon as I'm done. Okay, that literally took me like a minute and 15 seconds. So, what we are going to do is take these squares that's got the red tip, and I will tell you what I did. I've already sewn a few of them, and we were supposed to do the left-hand side first and then the right-hand side. Well, when I started putting the squares on, I got my square turned the wrong way, and I put it on the other side. As long as you do it the same direction each time, it doesn't matter, it'll be okay. So my second square is actually going to the left of the first one. Make sure you pay close attention to the position of your line on your fabric. And I will tell you, I have noticed that when I'm sewing that second square on, my machine does not like to start on the side that already has the other square on it. It likes to start on the other side. So that way you don't have as thick a fabric right there. And just so y'all know, the day you see this is the day I'm finishing this. I should have had this done 2 days ago for y'all. And I was actually trying to get a few videos ahead so I could work on that room this weekend. But y'all, I'm telling you, that room has proven to be more than I anticipated. It's got years of stuff in there. It converted to a long-term food storage in 2020, I believe. And that's when I also started doing the renovation on my kitchen. And I still had boxes of kitchen stuff in there that I needed to go through. And I promise you, it'd been in there that long, most of it just went either in the garbage or donation. And talking about donations, If you are ever in the Rayville, Louisiana area, there is a donation place, and this is where I mainly donate all my stuff. It is called Care and Share. It is in Rayville, Louisiana. If you're from here, it's behind where the old swimming pool used to be, the tennis courts and all off of Highway 80. They have a book and record building. My goodness, y'all. I spoke with a man that he actually put his whole collection in here. He donated it. And he was telling me that he didn't think about the crafting people. You know, I've seen crafts where they take the vinyl records, like the 45s. That's what he had. There is 17,000. So if you're looking for a vinyl record, he said they're from 1955 to 2000, I think is what he said. 17,000. So if you do vinyl record crafts, hey y'all, look them up. Look them up. If you're in the area, go by there. I don't know if you can just, I don't know that they do online orders or anything like that. I think it's particularly a walk in and look at situation, because they are a donation place. They're not like Goodwill or not places that ship. It's a very small run organization that helps, I believe it's battered women. They have a food pantry there. They, I think they help elderly and stuff with electric bills. They have the food pantry. They battered and abused women. I think they do something for them too. I'm not sure exactly who all they help, but I know the man that runs it. I've known him probably my whole life. He's known my family, I know, my whole life. Really good man. Has a very good heart, a very giving heart. He wants to help people. So if you're interested in that and you're ever in the Rayville, Louisiana area, which is in North Louisiana, it's Rayville, Rayville. It's about midway between Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Shreveport, Louisiana. It's probably almost midway, maybe a little further midway, closer to Vicksburg. But I walked in there and I was looking at the books, and because the man, he actually showed them to me. Fabulous. He has just a table, it's the length of a storage building, slam full. So if you're interested in that, hey, hit them up if you are interested in the crafts or the actual vinyl record. I mean, go check them out. I didn't look through the titles that he had, but being that he was a collector, I can only imagine the titles he has. Well, guys, I'm going to trim. Maybe I could trim right here and talk while I'm trimming. And of course, to trim, I have to take my tray off here. Have to make me some room, because that's not something I have a lot of for sure. Get my little trim tool. But it has been a very interesting morning. I was trying to get a little garden tour out for y'all, but for some reason it will not export. I hope I don't have that issue with this one for this evening. I was trying to get that one out actually by 9, and it's past 9. So I'm hoping maybe I can tend to it around lunch. Maybe it'll work. But if not, I knew I had to get this recorded because I've got to get this one off my table. I do have a practice block for the sew along that I will be doing. I will be announcing that on Monday in my updates, along with my 2K giveaway winner. I haven't done the drawing yet. I will not do the drawing until tomorrow morning. But I won't post the winner until Monday. Now, I'm noticing I'm off on these squares. I just did not get them very even. But we're going to make it work. Now I have to press and I'll be right back. I now have all of these pieces done. Not sure what they're called. Let's see. But now what we are going to do, let me get my little cutting board out of the way. Get my tray back on. Got to get myself together today, y'all. It's a struggle today. When I don't get to sew for a day, I kind of get off kilter. But, oh, I do want to tell y'all. I was telling you about that practice block I'm doing today. These are my fabrics. These are my scraps that I've pulled. I have scrap bags that I ordered from like Fat Quarter Shop or somewhere. But I have some fabulous looking fabrics that I'm going to scrap up. I think these are going to be beautiful. And that, but I will show you how to do this, but it's going to be after Monday. I don't want to give away my pattern yet. It's a scrappy quilt, and I'm hoping that's enough to make what I need to make. Our next step on this is we are going to sew together 4 of the pieces. It says sew together 4 of the pieces from step 1. Let me make sure. And step 1, okay. We're just going to start with the top row. We're going to do a solid, which I need to get the threads out of because I sewed it again. I'm just going to put these together. Match everything up real good here because we want this to match up real well because it is going to be a star. So we want that to, the points to come together well. So that's the first 2 of the first row. And now I'm going to do the first 2 of the second row. Ooh, I need my little starry fabric. This is going to be the center of our star. Yeah, I think this is going to be like a little table runner, which would be perfect because a table topper, not a table runner, a table topper, because I do not have a 4th of July table topper, and this will work perfect. Okay, and then the next 2 for the 3rd row is a solid, and then this block. I don't know what they call it. The dog ear block. I know that's not what it's called. And I'm going to sew this one on the white side because my seams are turned in the direction where they'll be going down, you know, go under the needle real well. I'm not going to press until I get all 3 rows done completely. So I just have to remember which is which. This is the first row, and I do another solid to the side of it. I should have got all these strings off of this, but I didn't. it'll be okay. So we are getting our middle row done. You know, even if you're off on your seam by a little bit, you can catch that in 1/4 of an inch. Now I've got my third row here. I will be pressing after I finish sewing this third row. I need to get that needle in that so I can get that fabric pulled straight. Okay, I am going to press this and be right back. Okay, I have them pressed and now I have them back on the machine. Seeing if I can't get you down on the machine a little more. What we are doing is sewing this at 1/4 of an inch. And there were some differences in some of the fabric, I guess, length. And what I did was I made sure to pin it where the longest edge was even all the way across. And I'm using that as my guide to sew that 1/4 of an inch. That way I know it's going to be even if on the back side it don't look so pretty. I'm making sure I caught, yep, all of my seams, all of my edges there. I am going to press this real quick and I will be right back. Now that I'm pressed, I'm going to add the second piece on. Doing the same thing, I'm going to nest those seams and get the longest edges aligned so they are even. And I believe this is going to be a fairly small, it's a 25 by 25, so it's not very big, but it's perfect. Once I get my dining table cleaned off, because all of the food in the long-term food storage is on my dining table until I can get my laundry room cleaned out to put the shelf in there to put the food on. That's where it's going to be until then. But once I get all the food off of my table, I will actually, I have a butterfly dining table. I will drop the butterfly leaf in it, and I will use this on my dining table and put like a pretty 4th of July centerpiece on it. And I will let you know if you're noticing a flickering of the lights or anything. We do have an incoming storm, or that's the notice I got from my app. I don't know if those things are true or not, because the other night it said we were going to have storms. We didn't have anything. But I'm going to press and be right back. Okay, yep, this is my square for the center. Now, our next step, let's see. This is a little bit tricky right here. It says lay out the star block. Oh, I was supposed to make 4 of those. Oh, okay. Well, let's get to making them 4. I now have all of these pressed and trimmed. The instructions do give you a size for this to trim down to. Make sure you do that, because if you don't, your squares may not come out right. Y'all, I'm sliding off my seat here today. So what we're going to do now is start assembling the corners to our blocks. I'm going to start with this fabric first. It just shows assembling it. I'm going to say, oh, this is one of those you have to center, and I'm not good at this. I'm not good at eyeballing like this, but I'm going to have to, because I'm not going to do the fold and all that. I'm just going to eyeball it. We're going to say it's good, and then we're just going to put it on. And I will do all 4 of the squares at one time. I'll sew with this, just so we can get these blocks done. I want to give you a little PSA on this. The size that they tell you to trim it down to, I'm not exact. But when am I ever? I'm never exact. So I just tried to line up the majority of that edge So it'll go under there and catch everything. Make sure I'm on that 1/4 inch there. I'm on it down my machine. So let's see. I don't want it stretching that fabric. And the line that we're using, I'll just tell you that again in case you don't remember, is the Old Glory line by Leela Boutique. It's a motif fabric. Beautiful, beautiful. This will give me an extra thing to put out for 4th of July. I do have that wall hanger. I could have put it out, I guess, for Memorial Day, but I didn't. Y'all, seeing that little 1/4 inch line is hard. Okay, and now we're on our last one. See what I'm talking about? I don't know if you can see that right there. That's not very even. I won't line up to that. I will try to center and match it up to the highest one. But then after I get it sewed, I will make sure that it did catch all of that. And I want y'all to know, I am doing a full 1/4 inch. I am not doing a scant 1/4. And when I trimmed, I still was able to trim off some. So that way you know a full 1/4 is okay. It's not going to make your project too little. To separate these, then I have to press them. And then we'll get going to the other sides. Now, this particular piece, it looks like, it doesn't show on the top. It looks like we press everything out to the colors. It doesn't really, yeah, everything I see looks like they're showing that you press everything to that corner piece that you just put on there. So I'm going to press so the next piece will go on smoother. I now have all 4 of my squares pressed and trimmed. So let me look at our photo here on how these are going to line up. To line these two together and sew on this edge first. And then we'll sew it to the bottom. Now I will say my squares are not perfect, but I did get them all close to the same size. And I tried to make sure every one of my points had a 1/4 inch. Not all of them did. I think I only had one that really did not end at a 1/4 inch. I have them done and pressed. Now, my points don't come together quite how they should. That's okay. That is okay. So, it's still going to be pretty, y'all. It's still going to be pretty. So this just lets you know things don't have to be perfect. They don't. And they still turn out beautiful. So now I am going to pin these nested seams together right here. And that way we do have a point right here that comes really nicely. It's going to come together perfectly as long as I get that pinned real well and my seams are nested. I'm just going to start right here. Now we do have the points in the center of each block where they'll be coming together, and those would be nice if they did come together as well, but I will try to have them do that. I didn't try it earlier. But it feels like they're V where they come together. It feels like they're exactly the same. So I will hold those together as we're going under that needle. So here is the 4 squares put together. Now what I need to do is we have some white borders and we have some red borders. What I am going to do is lay the fabric. I'm not even going to measure. I find that this is the best way to do it. So I did do correctly. My mind is not gone. I'm just going to lay this strip on this. Make sure I'm straight there. you know, pull it above the thing by the selvage, because I don't want that selvage in there. I'm going to drop that needle. And what I will do is I will sew all the way down using 1/4 of an inch. And I will be making sure this strip is even with the edges. And then when I get to the bottom, I will trim it off right there at the bottom. And then I will sew it to the other side. And I'm just making sure this down here is, I'm coming up on that pin in the center where I pinned that center to hold it steady for me. And you notice I didn't put another pin in, which I very well could have. It wouldn't have hurt anything. And if it makes you feel more comfortable to put pins all the way up and down, by all means do that. Do what you are comfortable with. I don't do it because I poke myself with all those pins. I'll put a few of them in there because a few of them are easier to watch than, you know, a whole row of them. And I just got to where I don't have to pin them all the way. And that way it saves my arms. Okay, so we are done with this side. We now have our white border. Y'all, this is turning out so pretty. I know I'm not going to be able to back and quilt this today. I will do a straight stitch quilt on it. The binding is the same exact fabric as the border. And I don't know why they did that, because you would think they'd want to do something different with the binding. But I'm going to do it the same way I did the white border. I don't have selvage on this, so I may try to get right on that. That's what I'm going to try to do. Now, notice I'm evening up that edge. And I am going to pin that in place, that edge in place. And since it's very wide, I'm going to do it in more than one place. I'm going to do it on the top and the bottom of the binding. That way that stays straight and doesn't go corkscrewed on me. And I will probably pin this right here about the center. This is what I love about putting a border on things, because a double border even, because that first border, you know, is a line. It's going to be a straight line. Then I'm going to come down here and just pin one time at the end of the border. And that's just to make sure it doesn't move and get out of place. Now, I could probably piece together some more borders out of the fabric that I have over there. And I do have a different border. I do have some yardage for fabric where I did the wall hanging. And wouldn't that be fabulous to have this closer match the wall hanging? That would be really nice. Once I get this done, I will look at that and see. Now, I know that could change my backing, but I know my quilt shop has some of this fabric, and if I have to, I'll call her and ask her to put me some back for my backing, because I know her shop is closing, I think, the first week of June for them to go to Pigeon Forge and do I guess like a large quilt show or something there. I'm not exactly sure what it is. So if y'all are in Pigeon Forge, go by and check them out. Go see them. Okay, I am going to trim and press and be right back. And we have it done. That is beautiful, y'all. I love this. That is so pretty. I was thinking about maybe doing some piano key borders, but I don't think so. I think this is pretty, y'all. I'm not going to back and quilt it today, but I will later on. So guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, please feel free to click that subscribe button, become part of the family. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.